Viewer discretion advised. Hello everyone, welcome to my freak show. I am Mary Girl Moody, so you can listen to me talk about theory shit while you look at the covers to my current theory videos that are out right now. Now don't worry, if you've missed any of them, you can watch all of them simply by clicking on my playlist called Theory Videos. Today we're going to talk about the best fan theories for AHS 1984. Now please know that none of these theories are mine. They are original theories from viewers of my channel. I have simply compiled the theories that I like the most, and all the theories are credited to their creator. And if I did not include your theory in this video, it does not mean that I did not like it. Trust me, there is just so little time and so many incredible theories out there. I really wish I had enough time to acknowledge all of them. And lastly, of course, don't be a dick in the comments. It takes a lot to put your ideas out there for people to judge, so you can be mean to me all you want, but don't be mean to my viewers. Let me tell you guys something my grandmother always told me. If you have nothing nice to say, keep your fucking mouth shut. Now with that out of the way, spoiler warning for prior seasons of AHS. Theory number 1 by Tina Hudson. Maybe Scathach will turn up in the woods around the camp. Now y'all know that I am absolutely obsessed with sexy Scathach and making theory videos all about her sexy ass. So when I saw this theory by Tina, I had to giggle and include it. Because personally, I would love for sexy Scathach to make a reappearance this season. But it is doubtful since the modern male doesn't want her dirty, unemployed hiney. I mean, except for Matt, in that sense. I understand now why Shelby kind of went crazy on him. I'd be hella pissed too if #husband supreme left me for some dirty, unemployed chick who didn't even have the sense to brush her teeth or shave her legs. So for now, I do love the idea, but it is a little doubtful we'll ever see our OG Supreme ever again in the AHS universe. Theory number 2 by Thomas Zhang. Thomas says, not on the subject of music, and I haven't seen many theories on your YouTube channel. Side note, loud Thomas, take another look because I've made almost 40 theory videos. Back to our regularly scheduled program. But did you notice that Jeff Dahmer in Hotel is the same guy in the teasers for the camper for the top bunk? Could that be something to be considered, or is that a coincidence? The conversation does move on and morphs into a camp for killers. Now, I really loved that idea. I honestly think it's just a coincidence. It does look like the same guy, but I don't think it is. But for some of you out there, the whole idea about a camp with the purpose of training people how to kill actually exists. Hell, even our own United States government had camps in Florida's Everglades, specifically designed to train men how to assassinate Fidel Castro. So the idea of a camp for killers isn't far-fetched. Like at all. And I love the idea of a camp for emotionally disturbed teens that are in the foster system, and our own government is training them to become killers since they already possess those tendencies. Now, in my opinion, that would make such a great storyline for this season. Theory number 3 by Scott Hancock. Now, I think one of the killers will be Baummeister, a serial killer from Indiana. Side note, you guys know I just butchered this gentleman's last name. That's my bad. Don't be a dick in the comments. Ryan Murphy probably showed up at the famous Indiana gay bar in the 1980s. The killer allegedly abducted men from the bar in the 80s and killed them. I just thought Ryan was aware of this killer, especially since he preyed on the gay culture. Now, I like this idea because, number 1, it deals with a real serial killer in the 80s. And number 2, it would be a case Ryan might actually be aware of. I mean, he is kind of like the Anna Wintour of gay fashion and gay icons. Well, you know, Ryan and Billy, bitch I'm fabulous, Porter. So I checked out this suspect and easily found the case information. Long story short, in the early 1990s, investigators with the Marion County Sheriff's Department and the Indianapolis Police Department began investigating disappearances of gay men. All the men were of the same height, age, and weight in the Indianapolis area. A tip from a patron from the bar sent police in the direction of Herbert Richard Baummeister in 1995. Investigators did the dumbest shit, guys. I mean, literally, they went to this guy's house and told him that he was a suspect of these murders and asked for permission to search his house, which, of course, Baummeister refused. They didn't even come with the warrant. I mean, it wasn't even until 1996, when Baumeister's wife filed for divorce, did she consent to the police searching her house. Fox Hollow Farm is an 18-acre estate owned by Baummeister, and it was searched, and remains of 11 men were found. Now, only 8 poor souls were ever identified. And Baummeister, of course, was on vacation at the time when the police searched his house and fled to Canada, where he shot and killed himself before police could apprehend him. I mean, I don't want to judge the police force, but I'm totally judging them. Fucking Detective John Lowe would have made a better detective on this case. And he was a, spoiler warning, a freaking serial killer. And a fictional character at that. But you guys get my point. A storyline with a serial killer stalking the young men, or the gay young men of the camp, does seem logical, possible, and obviously scary as hell. Theory number 4 by Deborah McCormick. What if it's Bad Santa Leigh Emerson? He was never caught after he crucified Monsignor Howard. And I picked Deborah's theory as one of my favorites because Leigh Emerson was a topic of one of my prior theory videos during the Roanoke season. I'm very happy to see that his character wasn't forgotten. In Roanoke, Lily Rabb's character Shelby wore a necklace around her neck with an L engraved on it. Many fans speculated the origin of the L, but my theory was it stood for Leigh Emerson, Shelby's possible father. Unfortunately, Leigh raped many women on his spree, and it is more than likely that one of those rapes resulted in a child, and one of those women either being forced or wanting to keep the child. So the idea of Leigh himself or one of his offsprings reappearing in the AHS universe completely intrigues me. Now, would you guys like to see Leigh return to the series? Let me know in the comments. Theory number 5 by DJ Goldenboy. What if they take the Friday the 13th route and have Leslie Grossman as the killer instead? This theory spoke to me because I think we can all agree the promos and art for AHS 1984 have a Friday the 13th ripoff vibe to it. So it makes sense to assume the killer might be a woman this season. Normally in horror movies, the killer is revealed to be a man. I mean, except for, in the Dario Argento movies, that mofo never puts baby in the corner. Now, seeing as how Ryan and Brad feel the same way about strong female characters, this theory is possible. However, it is too close to Friday the 13th, so we can appreciate this theory, but we can't take it home to meet Mom. I do love talking about Leslie being a killer, though. Now, please allow me to take 30 seconds to give a quick shout out to my patrons, whose generosity enables me to make these theory videos. Murder Motel, Alicia, Mia, and baby Jalen George, Diana Fitzgerald, Kenny Joseph, Michael Mullins-Wright, No-Tell Hotel, Irish Melly, Jeremy Oren, Jill Post, Dawn Ford, Andrew Venom, Stephen Wessel, Kevin Odom, Deep Thinker and Hogwarts Pupil, Miss Bellatrixa, Feel Better Miss Bellatrixa, Mike Gedney, and of course, Debbie Ebby Babebby. To become a patron and earn turns of rewards for just $1, please click on the link in the description. Fuck, I said turns again. Why do I say that? Theory number 6 by Scotty Lee. Actually, Scotty hit me with 2 great theory ideas, so I piled them into one. Sue me. There are actors making a porn, right? And the special font for the A for 1984 with the dot somehow makes me think of infinity or eternity, something like that. Would this season end up being trapped in a loop? Will they end up being clones or test subjects in a simulated camp in some sort of Area 51 type testing zone? So as you can see, there are many components to this theory, and I loved all of them. And let's start breaking them down one by one, and let's start with the pornography theory. Personally, I do feel that is a very risky topic, extremely risky, but not too risky that I can't honestly see FX shutting the thought down. Television networks are fighting hard with one another right now in order to be the most watched network. And, you know, an announcement that AHS 1984 kind of centers around a cast of pornographers would certainly gain views. Now, as far as the special 8 in the numbers 1984, it kind of was one of the first things I noticed when the season's theme was announced. However, I didn't really have time to think about it, so I'm very glad that Scotty caught it and brought this theory to light. Personally, I definitely think it means something significant. The font that's used for American Horror Story is called ITC Willow. And when I checked out the font for that particular style, the number 8 did not have a dot underneath it. Boom, baby. So what do you guys think is so special about the number 8 in 1984? And let's move on to the final part of this theory. And I just love to have some kind of looping storyline, you know, such as the movie The Triangle. But it's the alien theory from Scotty that really made my day. The thought of the aliens placing these people in a simulated camp located in an Area 51 type of zone is something American Horror Story has never touched. I mean, we got a tiny piece of an alien storyline in Asylum, but that was season 2. We're now in season 9. If they're going to put Tate and Violet back together with duct tape for fan service, then they can certainly bring back the aliens. Mostly, Scotty's theories are really out of the box, not something we'd normally see on the show, which is why I adore them so much. Theory number 7 by Royce Christian. So here is my theory. Since it's taking place at Camp Redwood, my fiance actually gave me this idea when I told him what AHS will be this season, and we watched your video just now. I am from SoCal, he is from NorCal, home of the Redwoods. And as a kid growing up at the summer camp in early 90s, he was often exposed to the old conspiracy theories about Bohemian Grove and the occult rituals like the burning owl, etc., that allegedly really powerful men like CEOs, international politicians, and royalty all allegedly perform there while attending the alleged annual summer retreat in the Redwoods. And Royce was hoping that I would be able to kind of explore the theory a little bit. So let's do that, guys. This theory caught my attention for many reasons, but it was Royce's note about Bohemian Grove that really intrigued me. Now, most of my viewers know that I do watch Alex Jones, you know, before Crazy, and have even met him a couple of times in the past years. So I am familiar on his expose on Bohemian Grove and the theories concerning what happens there. For those of you unfamiliar with Bohemian Grove, I suggest you do your own research because it's extensive and the subject is fascinating. Long story short, the Bohemian Club is a 2,700-acre club surrounded by redwood trees, established in 1872 and located in Monte Rio, California. For 2 weeks in the mid-July, the world's richest and most elite men come together at the club, and according to Bohemian Grove attendees, they spend 2 weeks talking about their feelings. Now, as most of you know, that is one silly bullshit excuse. Us common folk know for a fact that rich white men, and especially men of royalty, do not camp in the woods without air conditioning, bathrooms, beds, any of that stuff for weeks, simply just to explore their feelings. I mean, we may be poor, but we're not fucking stupid. So I would love to see American Horror Stories take on Bohemian Grove. Ryan loves to poke at Donald Trump and his politics, And I think this would be a perfect topic to poke at him and all the rich elite who love the smell of their own assholes. Theory number 8 by MV. My theory is that somehow the guys will be in some strange hidden love relationship, which they will try to hide from Emma, because one of them is her boyfriend, or alternatively, Emma is the gay one and hides it, and this somehow makes them kill each other. The killer is not a person, but the camp itself with its energy. This theory, guys, I mean, it gave me chills. The thought of a camp itself being cursed or enchanted to drive people mad or to even kill each other. It reminds me a lot of Murder House, Asylum, and Roanoke seasons, but, you know, with a camp in the place of the asylum and the houses. This is a great opportunity for the show to explain the source of evils and all those facilities. But, you know, since this theory is logical, interesting, and would bring back long-gone fans, American Horror Story obviously won't use it. But, I mean, just think of the possibilities the writers could come up with in this scenario. Theory number 9 by Elementary School Dropout. On a totally different note, what if a 7 or 8-year-old Tate Langdon were to go to the camp? He lives in the right area, compared to anyone from Asylum, except maybe Lana, and his parents were definitely well off enough to pay for their son's summer camp. Tate was born in 1977, so he could be a kid attending the camp at age 7 or 8. Even if his father had died, his mother probably would want to send him away to deal with her grief of guilt or killing him or something, or maybe because she doesn't want to be stressed out by her kids. So am I the only one who was just almost left speechless with this theory from Elementary? Obviously, they shouldn't have dropped out. I mean, I would have loved to see this play out this season. Imagine an 8-year-old Tate Langdon in 1984. Constance sent him to camp that summer just to get him out of her hair, maybe even Addie too. And at the camp, it's where Tate's, psychopathic tendencies really started, pulling at his feelings. I mean, again, with this theory, the possibilities are endless for the storyline, and we would love to get some beloved characters again. Since American Horror Story reaches back into the past seasons for storylines and characters, I mean, it is highly possible we might get an 8-year-old Tate Langdon. They don't need to use Evan Peters, just a young little boy that looks like him. So what do you guys think of this theory? Final theory, theory number 10, by almost every single person in the American Horror Story fandom and Gary Lee Rogers. Again, I pushed 2 theories together. Sue me. Their theories are that 2 beloved characters will return this season. Billy Lord will play a young Sally McKenna, aka Hypodermic Sally from season 5, and Lana Winters will be there to interview the final girl or boy. Now, it's hard to save the best theory for the last, guys, because in my opinion, all of these theories are fantastic. This theory is the one that I've been seeing everywhere, from comments on YouTube to Reddit. Everyone seems to think that Billy Lord is going to play Sally McKenna from Hotel, and that Lana Winters is going to be back for the final episode, hence that will be what Sarah Paulson's cameo will be. Now, as y'all know, my favorite characters of all time are James Patrick March, Liz Taylor, and Sally McKenna. And Hotel is my favorite season of all time, so I had to mark these theories as one of my favorites. I do agree this theory is highly possible, so let's explore it real quickly. Sally McKenna is a ghost in the Hotel Cortez from season 5. While we don't know much about Sally before she was killed in the hotel in 1994, we do know that Sally described herself as a, quote, Valley Girl. Side note, guys, Valley Girl the movie came out in 1983, which heavily influenced pop culture, giving us, obviously, since this is going to happen in the summer of 1984, it's going to give us plenty of time to see this movie's influence in this season. So back to the main page. Sally here admitted that she made music with Patti Smith in the 1980s until she was fired and got lost in heroin. And I know for a fact that Patti Smith took a break from making music in 1985. So in 1993, we know that Sally was writing music and stitched together herself a threesome. Then Irish pushed her out of the window of the Hotel Cortez in 1994. Now, Sally was described as a woman in her 20s or 30s, but a definitive age was never given. So for this theory, we've got to assume Sally's age. Now, let's kind of middle ball her age and say that she was in between her 20s and 30s and say she was just 25 in the year 1994 when she died. Now, that would place Sally at the age of 15 years old or older in 1984, of course, give or take a few years. Now, Billie Lourd certainly isn't 15 years old, but in my opinion, she could play a college teenager like she did with, Scream Queens and Chanel No. 3. So I can see Billie playing, an 18-year-old Sally McKenna. She even seems like she has the same crinkled haircut. Running away from her life in LA, her shitty parents for easy money as a temporary job as a camp counselor at Camp Redwood. Gary Lee Rogers theorized Sarah's minor role this season won't be Sally McKenna, but will in fact be Lana Winters interviewing the final guy or girl and she did in Roanoke. He points out that 1984 is 20 years after Asylum, and that kind of makes a little sense once you think about the number 8 theory that Scotty brought up before. What's so special about the number 8? Is it looping for some reason? Are some of these past storylines going to intersect each other? I mean, there might actually be a reason why this season is allegedly 20 years after one of the Asylum storylines. All of these incredible theories have hyped me up even more for this season, and I'm so freaking ready to go to Camp Redwood. What about you? Which theory was your favorite? And what's your theory for AHS 1984? Let me know in the comments. Thursdays are for theories, so come back to my channel every Thursday for a new theory video such as potential AHS 1984 killers theory video next week. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification button to be notified when I post those theory videos and AHS 1984 news. American Horror Story Weekly Wednesday live streams are every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you'd like to take a trip back to the past, check out my music playlist, Top Hits of 1984. Thanks for watching, and beware of Sexy Scathach. If anyone survived the apocalypse, it was her nasty unemployed ass.